Well, good evening. Welcome to the August 12th edition of Sports on Sunset. I'm James Jericho.
I'm Jeremy Paul.
This is Moops McDaniel over here. The reason we're out here this evening, it's finally broken, and it's still 96 degrees on the street.
Nice and hot.
If you think we're running up to the Comedy Store with a video camera just to shoot the mess, you are out of your mind, dude. Right now,
shade.
Yeah, exactly. This is the most beautiful patch of land in the stank-ass portion of Hollywood that we are in. Now, the Olympics in London closed earlier today. I mean, they haven't been broadcast on tape delay on NBC yet, the closing ceremonies. It's done.
Yeah.
And that's fine. We didn't get a chance. I didn't get a chance to watch a whole lot of it. What about you?
I watched quite a bit at my day job. So,
which is good. Did you enjoy it at least?
It was beautiful. I in particular love the swimmers, not the swimmers, the divers.
I don't know the names of any of them, so I can't. I'm just going to have to cede that point. It's easy to pile on the Olympics, but the thing that really stands out with this particular Summer Olympics is there's always an athlete that everybody remembers. This particular Olympics is going to be memorable because of two particular athletes who are now in the argument overall for the greatest Olympian ever. It's not an exact science. You know, most people agree, for example, most people agree that Jordan might have been the best, was the best in the NBA. But then you'll see some people go, no, it was Kareem or Oscar Robertson, or et cetera, et cetera. You know, it's fluid. But there were two in this one that joined the argument. Usain Bolt, the sprinter from Jamaica, and of course, Michael Phelps. There have been arguments. When Bolt won a gold earlier last week, he threw his arms up and immediately declared himself to be the greatest athlete of all time. Player move. Phelps has 20 medals. That's the all-time great. Today we're going to mention who we believe the greatest Olympian to be. I'm going to let you start off. Who do you think is the greatest Olympian of all time?
The greatest Olympian of all time. Now, they have an event just to declare who's the greatest athlete. Plain and simple. The greatest athlete in the Olympics.
The decathlon?
The decathlon. They always have it. The world's greatest athlete. The decathlon winner this year is also the world record holder, who I've mentioned before, Ashton Eaton.
But you can't, but even, okay, I got to call shenanigans on this one.
Okay.
Because you said you have no concept of how the decathlon is scored, and if you don't have any idea of how the decathlon is scored, how can you say with empirical evidence that yes, indeed, that person is the greatest Olympic athlete of all time?
Because he finished first or second in damn near every event.
But would he finish, for example, first in the 100 against, say, Usain Bolt?
No, he would have finished in the 100. He probably would have finished in the finals. Probably would have finished around 6th.
Okay.
Due to his time.
Who is it again?
Ashton Eaton.
Oh yeah, I remember. Okay, I've heard the name. He's going to be on Leonard this week.
Yeah, he would have finished maybe 6th in the finals of the 100. In the 400, he probably would have finished 4th. Like, in all these events, he probably would have finished top 10. Well, of course, top 10, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Top 5 or 6. So it's not like they're the best at everything, but they are better at everything than every other Olympian.
Okay.
I'd like to see the decathlon drop maybe the 1,500 meters. Well, not the 1,500 meter, but
I think the mile's a good run.
Yeah. So maybe one of the distance. Maybe one of the. You can't drop the javelin. You can't drop the pole vault. But you can drop one of these events. Maybe the shot put.
Yeah, what? Insert a different one.
And insert diving. I'd love to see.
You've apparently become a huge diving fan.
I've always been a huge diving fan. But
Okay, look, you obviously know how tempting it is to insert the hacky black people in the pool.
yes.
Okay, so let's put that aside.
Well,
Why do you like diving?
I like diving simply because it's beautiful, and there's a clear objective to it. You have to complete your specific dive. There's a lot of gymnastics to it. There's a lot of flexibility to it. And then, upon entering the pool, you have to have as little splash as possible. So that's incredible body control. You have to enter the water just right.
Right.
And if you don't, they deduct. And you know exactly how much they're deducting. It's not like gymnastics, like the floor exercise, where you're like, oh, he took an extra step on that backflip. Oh, his legs weren't together on that backflip. Oh, the somersault, he did a triple gainer instead of. It's not like that, where you don't know what they're deducting for. And diving, you know exactly what they're deducting for, because he didn't hold his legs together. He didn't enter the water right.
Right. If he doesn't hold your legs together, obviously you're going to make a bigger splash.
Right. So with diving, I was a huge fan of Michelle Wu this year.
Oh, well, by the way, when we're talking about diving, are you thinking of a sturdy platform?
Platform diving.
Okay, because there's also
10-meter dive.
There's also the
The 10-meter dive, Michelle Wu from Australia, she was big this year. Like, she challenged the Chinese chick. I can't pronounce this chick's name. Chun-Wei Wall or some shit.
I think.
But
go ahead.
But as far as the world's greatest athlete, right? If you don't include one of the, pardon the term, water sports, you don't include those, then how do you proclaim these to be the world's greatest athletes? Just because you focus on one event doesn't make you a great athlete. Usain Bolt, the Jamaican team, in the 200, finished 1, 2, and 3. Right? Usain Bolt, close by the Olympic record, 1932. The Olympic record is 1930. His record, 1919.
Right.
The guy that finished second, Jamaican, ran a 1944. So if Usain Bolt had never broken the record, he would have came within 1/10 of a second of breaking Michael Johnson's record.
Yeah.
I might agree with Carl Lewis. Them dudes are dope.
Okay.
I'm
going to go with an obvious choice.
Go ahead.
Now, as I'm going to backtrack and build my case after saying that I'm going to go with the obvious choice. I think medal count does matter, and I'm going to go with Phelps.
Really?
Yes. Here, well, there's a variety of reasons for it.
Okay.
It's not just one event. And I read a few people's columns as they were arguing against Phelps. And there's a number of athletes that we were both thinking that I was considering, and I texted you about. You mentioned Lewis, Jim Thorpe, Jackie Joyner-Kersee, Flojo, Cassius Clay, Edwin Moses. You mentioned diving. Greg Louganis was fantastic. And then of course a couple of other people. Daley Thompson, you had mentioned, decathlon, and a person that one columnist really touted was Jesse Owens as the greatest Olympian ever. Ran against Hitler. And, for that, yeah, I get it. You stuck it to one of the most evil people in the history of humanity in his own house over this whole master race argument. Maybe not so, buddy. You know what I mean? So I hate, the unfortunate thing is you have to counter an argument almost by ripping some really notable figures in history. But at some point, I think the obvious argument is the correct one. Sometimes we're guilty of over-analyzing particular arguments. 20 medals, that's my counter argument. And it's not just 20 medals in one event. A lot of people say, oh, well, all Michael Phelps does is swim. The counter argument to that is it's not swimming like you're doing the same stroke, okay? If we compare, like the backstroke is entirely different than the breaststroke. It's entirely different than freestyling. And we're doing it for different lengths. So in some cases it's a little tiny sprint where you have to have a sprinter's will. And in some cases it's long where you have to have a distance runner's will. And in addition to that, in terms of form, say the backstroke to freestyle, to me, to say that it's just swimming is akin to saying in football, wide receivers are tight ends. Sure, your job is to catch the football, but that's not really your job. Your job is to catch it, but you have different ways to do it.
Right.
See, different skill sets. So we're talking about an athlete who has a variety of massive skill sets. And in addition to excelling so much that he won 20 medals, he did it over the span of 3 Olympics.
Yeah.
Where were you in 2004? I know where I was. I was renting one room from a divorced lady after my own divorce, and her 11-year-old daughter was telling me to hook up with her mom. You know, that I wasn't a world-class athlete. And how many times as a world-class athlete do you excel in one Olympics and you're like, okay, I'm good. Maybe you do it for 2. He got better in the second one. And then he and I'm not saying he got even better in the third, that's not true. But he still has a fistful of medals that he's walking out of London with.
Well, to that I say, if you're going to say he did this, he played at a high level over 3 Olympics, right?
And did it in a variety of different
ways, right? Okay, then you have to take all the basketball players out there. Teresa Edwards has 5 gold medals in basketball.
Right. But basketball is only one particular event,
right.
Technically.
Right, but she's a great Olympic. She played at a high level.
No, well, we've debated like the WNBA, but I have never said that women's basketball is not a sport.
Right. But
okay, I'm not questioning her athleticism.
What I'm saying is, she did it over 5 Olympics.
Okay.
Let's see him do it over 5 Olympics and stay in top shape and contribute and be him.
The problem with that is that's one event. I'm talking about number of medals, number of disciplines over a legitimate period, a lengthy period of time.
What I'm saying is this: how many of those were relays?
Oh, without question, if you were. I'm not going to front on that.
So, if he's doing it as a team, like can he go back?
But they weren't all teams either.
Right, but if he's doing the relays in say 2016, they bring him back for the relays, I can see the point. But no, he did. How many of his medals were at? How many of his gold medals came from relays? How many of his bronze were in relays? It was a team effort. Right. So you're taking.
He did it, but he also did it as an individual.
But you're taking away the team aspect. You get what I'm saying?
No, I'm not trying to argue against team sports at all.
Okay.
I'm not. Look, if you want to say I'm guilty for not including her on the list with Kersee and Lewis and Thorpe, if you're saying I'm guilty of not including her on that list, I will concede that point. But I'm not saying, but I'm saying that in terms of the depth of the resume over a certain period of time in a variety of disciplines. That's my argument. Well, your argument, by the way, is in this particular Olympics, massive variety of events and the breadth of his work in those massive variety of events. And there's nothing wrong with that argument.
What I want to say is take away the relays.
Okay.
If you take away the relays, he might go down to what, 14, 13 medals?
Which is, by the way, nothing to sneeze at.
Right. But
and he's still in the argument for one of the best Olympians ever.
Right. But he wouldn't be doing all these on his own. How many Olympics did Jackie Joyner-Kersee participate in? And when the decathlon? I thought it was 2.
I could be wrong. That's the thing. I mean, I didn't go through everybody's resume.
Jackie Joyner-Kersee doesn't do those heptathlon, right?
Yeah.
But she was the best at the heptathlon for what, damn near a decade? Which means she was the best female athlete basically ever.
And the other thing is that, look, we're talking about domination over an entire decade. We're not talking about a half-assed lifetime achievement award, where, like in Hollywood, somebody will get an Emmy or an Oscar at the end of a career because it's like Bruce Willis will probably get a lifetime achievement award. He'll never be best actor, or you know what I mean, something along that hacky-ass line.
You should have got one for 6 cents, you know.
Yeah. Well, with that said, it was fun. And again, one more, not against you, but to those who would say, again, about Jesse Owens, about how he stuck it to Hitler, which is a wonderful thing, wonderful point. Yeah, but Phelps did it in China and asked the Tibetans what they think of the Chinese. I mean, it doesn't always have to be a human rights statement, but he stuck it to the Chinese. And the Chinese, they pull their own kids out specifically to be athletes from the time that they shoot out of the womb. So, there you are. With that said, why don't you tell them what's on your mind, dude?
I'm going to keep on the Olympic note for a reason. The United States has won a lot of medals this Olympics, as we always do as a country. We always win a lot of medals. The Chinese usually win a lot of medals as well. The Chinese don't celebrate after they win medals like the United States athletes do.
Right.
They don't dance. The American athletes really love dancing. Really love dancing. I watched the United States basketball team win a gold medal against España today. They beat Spain. They beat Marc Gasol, and they beat Pau Gasol, and they beat Serge Ibaka, and they beat Juan Carlos Navarro. 7 points, by the way, not the most. Jose Calderon. They beat a lot of actual NBA players that play for Spain. I guarantee, had Ricky Rubio been playing, the United States would have lost. So
you're probably right. But yeah.
Yeah. What I'm saying here is this: if you're going to dance after you win a gold medal, athletes, because they did a montage on NBC on a whole lot of people dancing after they won medals. They came in first, like, learn to dance, athletes. Learn to dance. Seriously, you motherfuckers can't dance.
What about Serena?
No,
Serena was cutting a rug.
She crip walked. She crip walked after winning the fucking gold medal. She was crip walking. You don't crip walk at the Olympics. Learn to dance. Go to Charleston. You don't have to crip. Serena Williams crip walking. You got LeBron James doing something like this. I'm guessing that's, hey, we fucking 2 chicks tonight. I guess that's what that is. Fair catch. Yeah, no, stop, you can't dance. Do the Cabbage Patch. Something like this. You fucking, the old school shit. Running Man. You know what I mean? Running Man. Come on, just do it. You're athletes, man.
Do the safety dance.
Like the gymnastics team. The women's gymnastics team.
Yeah.
Gabby Douglas took off best all around.
Right.
Did she dance? No, she did not, because she's a 16-year-old girl in London, and she's black, and she knew better. Because 16-year-old girls, as far as Americans go, black chicks, they make it pop. And you can't make it pop when you're a gymnastic girl when you're 16. You can't, no, you can't flop your little bit of titties around. No, you gotta stop. So, have some class. Be like Barry Sanders.
Have some class. You're talking about Gabby Douglas' titties.
No. Be like Barry Sanders. Act like you've been there before. Don't dance after you won a medal in the Olympics. Don't. Just stop it. They're going to be in Rio next year. Not next year, the next Olympics is in Rio, right? Carnival. Don't dance at all. Don't you dare. Because those people know how to dance. They samba while they're making omelets. Stop it. Don't dance. You will embarrass America by doing so. Don't embarrass America. Stop dancing.
Guys, every so often someone will write a story. Isn't it a shame that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar can't get a coaching job or a GM job? I mean, look at all the all-time greats in the NBA that have had their shot done well, like Isaiah Thomas, Larry Bird, and Magic, although he was a horrible coach, he got a shot. Why not give Kareem a shot? After all, he must know offense. He played under Pat Riley. He played under John Wooden. Now we know. Andrew Bynum. As you know, last week the Lakers made a blockbuster trade in which they sent their 24-year-old center, a 4-team deal. They sent him off to Philly in order to get Dwight Howard back. The Lakers had drafted, some background, the Lakers had drafted Bynum out of high school. He was the youngest guy ever drafted in the NBA history.
17.
Yeah, damn near broke child labor laws to get him. And the guy had no skill set to speak of. Wide-eyed, innocent, So they take this raw talent and they gave Kareem a shot. Teach him what you know, Cap. Teach him what you know. The Lakers were thinking Kareem would teach him a skyhook, and Kareem taught him how to be a dick. The record speaks for itself. Crapping on a coach. Oh no, let's play a game show. Kareem or Andrew Bynum? Crapping on your coach in public. Kareem or Andrew Bynum?
Kareem.
And both.
Damn.
Shooting 3-point attempts for no reason whatsoever. Kareem or Andrew Bynum? Both.
What?
Yeah.
Kareem jacked up the pointers?
Yeah.
Damn. All right.
Getting my zen on during timeouts. Kareem or Bynum?
That's Kareem.
It's actually just Bynum. Kareem probably did, but he never confessed.
Come on,
yeah,
Zen.
Yeah. Hey,
making it rain at strip clubs. Kareem or Bynum?
Mutombo. Here's a side question. Out of all the things Kareem taught Bynum, hey, the flagrant foul on J.J. Barea of the Dallas Mavericks during last year's NBA playoffs? You didn't learn your lesson, Andrew. You have your teammate treat him like Rudy Tomjanovich. One punch. Oh, and feuding with your all-star multi-championship winning point guard, Kareem or Andrew Bynum?
Bynum.
Both.
Well, Magic deserved it.
Basically, what I'm trying to say is, thanks to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Andrew Bynum went from being the happiest teenager on the planet to damn near joining the Nation of Islam. And we have one guy to thank for that. Now, some people are saying, well, James, wasn't Dwight Howard a jerk in Orlando? Isn't that the reason that Dwight Howard became the Lakers? Yes, but here's the difference. It's one thing to be angry in Orlando. Orlando is just another team in the NBA. Nice place to live, but it's just another team. If you can't be cool winning multiple titles playing for the glamour franchise of the NBA, that's on you. That is absolutely on Andrew Bynum. And all of that has Kareem Abdul-Jabbar written all over it.
It can't just be Andrew Bynum's dick. It's always
Again, he learned it from Kareem. So the next time anybody sits there and tries to tell you, hey, why can't Kareem Abdul-Jabbar get a coaching gig? Now you know. The case study has been shipped off to Philly. With that said, folks,